Welcome to Your Business Connection. I'm your host, Greg Wilson. We have a great show today. We have guests that will help us talk a little bit about resources and opportunities that are available to our minority, women, and veteran vendors. So again, we have Terry Daniels, Deputy Commissioner. Welcome, Terry.
Thank you.
We have Shanita Griffin, Senior Director of Planning and Development. Did I get that right? Shanetta. All right.
Griffin. And it's Senior Director of Planning and Development, correct.
Okay. And Devin Moore, President of Moore Surety and Bonds Agency.
Correct.
Well, welcome. Tell our guests a little bit about each one of you. Keep the short version, though, about what you do and kind of your position. We'll start with Terry.
Okay, so Terry Daniel, Deputy Commissioner for the Indiana Department of Administration, Division of Supplier Diversity. That is a big old mouthful.
It's a big title.
Basically, we administrate the certification program for minorities, women, and veteran business enterprises for the state of Indiana. And we also provide business development and outreach services for those businesses as well as a perk of their certification.
Excellent.
Ladies first.
So, Greg, first off, thank you for having us here today. I certainly think that this is a good opportunity to talk about the opportunities at the airport. So I am Shanetta Griffin, Senior Director of Planning and Development. The Planning and Development Department is basically the keeper of the capital program that we have at the airport. So every year between $30 to $50 million worth of activity goes on at the airport, and our department handles that. Also, our area of supplier diversity falls under my department. So as we look at our small minority-owned businesses, that's where a lot of that is handled.
Okay. Devin.
And I am Devin Moore. I'm actually a former Coast player. I always love to put that in there. I come in good company. I'm president and owner of Moore Surety Bond Agency. We deal with bonds, bid performance and payment bonds for the different contractors who look to actually go after some of these opportunities that the airport and the city holds.
You kind of have two positions here. One is you work with SBA.
Correct.
And then you have your own company.
So I'm appointed with a surety that does business or that is a partner with the SBA in issuing SBA surety bonds. This is a topic that is of deep discussion, I guess, for a lot of the minority contractors who cannot obtain bonding to go after such opportunities. The SBA has a program where we're bonding up to $6.5 million for local and state projects, for a single limit for contractors, and up to $10 million for federal projects. So it's a great opportunity for some of the actual minority, women-owned, veteran-owned, service-disabled, and any other business. The actual SBA bonds up to 70 to 90% of those different opportunities for these contractors. So it makes it a lot easier for them to obtain bonding.
Excellent. Airport. You know, when I first got here in 2008, I worked with various people at the airport. How's this been evolving even since then? What's going on at the airport?
Well, you know, that's when we went through that in 2008, that was a major project, I think one of the largest projects in the city at the time. And there was a lot of participation that occurred there and a lot of suppliers that we're still working with to this day. But we want to continue to expand that. A lot of the architects and the designers and the engineers, the contractors that worked with us, they want to continue to do work with us. However, they haven't been really back to the table. So we're trying to find ways in which to make that happen. We provide opportunities. We, have XB outreaches, which is what we call our minority, women, veteran-owned businesses, our XBEs. But we have outreaches that we do, and actually we have one coming up. I'll put in a little plug right now, October 1st from 9 to 11 at the terminal building in our boardroom. We'll be having an outreach, and we do that twice a year to really try and show opportunity, talk about the projects that are upcoming both on the design and the construction side, and really allow some networking to occur, because we think that's the biggest part of this, is being able to network as we talk about opportunities, learn more from us as a staff, but then also to find partners of which to bring back as teams or individual firms, however it works out, to come back and do those projects. So as I mentioned, about $30 to $50 million worth of work we do every year, both on the design and construction side. So we just continue to find ways to get the word out.
Well, I'll say this, and we've done a lot of outreach with the airports. They've been great partners. The other thing, we normally send out e-blast when you send us something letting us know about your outreach events. So it's been a great partnership, and we appreciate that. And there has been great opportunities at the airport, a lot of opportunities, a lot of business has been very successful. And that's what we're going to talk about a little bit today. After I talk to Terry a little bit, we're going to talk about what do they need to do to get back at the table? What are some of the things these vendors are not doing? And what are the things they need to know? And you all feel free to chime in on that as we get into discussion. Terry, talk a little bit about what's going on at the state. What are you guys doing? What's major? What's new?
Yeah, we have a lot of things happening at the state. As Shanetta talked about, Shanetta talked about, we actually work with the airport as well, but we provide programming for businesses all across the state of Indiana. So what we have moved to are regional business conferences where we have seen an average attendance of over 200 businesses at each of those events. The feedback from the business community has been phenomenal. We have been in South Bend, Indiana, in conjunction with St. Mary's College in the city of South Bend. We've been up in Northwest Indiana in conjunction with Mayor Karen Freeman Wilson and the city of Gary, and also Majestic Star Casino, who have been amazing partners. Down in Evansville with the city of Evansville, and we have been connecting businesses with opportunities at the state level, but then also at the corporate level as well, which is very important for us as well. In government, every business, unfortunately, is not going to get a contract. So it's important for us to create that platform where we can connect those businesses with those opportunities, even in the corporate setting. I'm going to mention a plug as well. In September the 23rd and 24th, we have our annual Central Indiana Business Conference where we will be bringing Walmart Corporate in from Bentonville, Arkansas, to talk to folks. We've got their merchandising people coming in, and we've got their professional services side as well coming in to talk with businesses about doing business with Walmart. We are so thankful to Comcast, who is our title sponsor for that event. They will also be bringing in their corporate folks from Philadelphia to talk to businesses about how to do business with Comcast and those opportunities that are available in the telecommunications field as well. So we are on the move. We're trying to do what we can to create those opportunities for Indiana-based businesses and just basically creating a platform for economic development and growth.
Well, you know, one thing, I'm glad you're bringing in Walmart, because one of the challenges have been is that they do a lot of building of new stores.
Yes.
And is how do our vendors get the opportunity to participate? That's been a question that's been asked for so long, and you see them just popping up everywhere. Are they going to talk a little bit about that, local opportunities?
They will. We'll have one general session where everyone who is interested can attend, and then we're doing a lottery for some one-on-one sessions with those certified vendors. But they will. I think it's a really great opportunity because, you know, we have a lot of businesses that, you know, make products that can be housed on Walmart shelves. And so that was one of our focuses, and that's why we wanted to bring our merchandising folks in. And so we're excited about this opportunity. They're excited about coming. We've had many conversations, and they're excited to meet our Indiana-based businesses.
Well, good. I know I'm looking for an invite.
You already got it. You got it.
Well, here's my question now. The challenges. Now, we know that we all talk about we want vendors to be successful, but they have to help make themselves successful. It's things they have to do. Let's talk a little bit about what you see when we talk about why vendors, as you said earlier, they don't come back sometime. What is that? What barrier happened to maybe stop them, or why haven't they come back to when they've been successful at the airport? Let's talk a little bit about that.
Well, you know, this is one thing that I really pride myself on and really enjoy talking about, because I do think that this is a downfall of a lot of the small and minority-owned businesses. But it's really an education process. It's communication, it's education. So really understanding from an airport perspective what we do at the airport. You know, what are our challenges at the airport? Certainly people can have talent bases that they can have work that they can do, but is that what the airport needs? So when you come in and you talk with us, really try and understand what we need and cater your conversation to that. Certainly there's people that come in and they have really good ideas, but it's something that the airport doesn't really use or doesn't need. So really understand your business and what it's going to be important to the airport. And then there's things just like security. The airport is a different type of environment. So we found that to be somewhat of a barrier because people don't understand that anytime you do a project on the airport grounds, especially on the airfield, that there's a level of security that we have to have that's regulated by the Federal Aviation Administration and by TSA. And so that can be a barrier sometimes because people don't understand that. But we have vendors that will work with you. We have a registered list, and we connect the two. So again, as we find opportunities and we talk about those opportunities, we try and connect the two. Bonding is a big part of it, though. We do hear from the construction side that that's an issue. So it's very good to know that organizations like SBA and AMAC is another one, Airport Minority Advisory Council, that they're finding ways of which to make that easier. We also talk to our prime contractors about maybe you can bring your subcontractors under your bond so that they don't have to have all the bonding capacity that we require at the airport. And so it's really just, again, it's about that education process, knowing what we want, knowing the types of bidding that we do. We have RFQs, which is qualification-based. We have the RFP process, so anything that we do under Public Works has to be lowest and responsive bid. And then we have RFI, so just request for information. So understanding where we are in that process and the type of process that we're doing is very important as well, too.
Do you see XBEs showing up for the pre-bids? Is that a problem out there at the airport?
Well, that is a problem because they're very well publicized. Everything is on our website when we're having these events. So anything that's in relationship to any project, either the pre-bid or the pre-construction, is information that's known. So when they don't come, they don't get all of that information. They don't know the schedule. They don't know the insurance requirements. So all of that is missed. So when you go to put in a bid or put in your proposal, that information that was shared that is viable to that proposal or that bid, you don't know. So yes, we do see that that's sometimes an issue. However, it is picking up more because we keep getting that word out. Again, at our XB outreaches, we emphasize that over and over. Come get the information. We're providing it to you, so it's there. There's no reason why you shouldn't have it. But we do see that is picking up a little bit more, but that's a major downfall.
And we're talking about the bonding just now. She mentioned bonding. Tell me how you would be impactful, what you do would help with that.
Well, what happens is for the small and emerging businesses that in the past probably couldn't obtain some of the bonding, what we do is we don't hold them to the same standards that we would utilize or do the underwriting process for some of the other stronger strength or financially strengthened companies. What we actually look at is if they are not qualifying under the standard requirements, we actually then submit the applications to the SBA. Again, this is a countrywide, full nationwide program. Once submitting, they actually have the opportunity again to get up to 6.5. Once actually having that opportunity and capitalizing on that opportunity allows them and increases them having chances to bid on some of these projects that you're speaking on and actually going in as a prime instead of the sub. So we do realize that there are a lot of smaller companies, minority companies that are going in and trying to get under a prime's bonding. We're trying to lead away from that. Not that that's a bad thing, but we want companies to actually come to us and actually try to get the bonding. It is not the same anymore. This program is opening up doors for a lot of different smaller and medium-sized businesses. And there may be some businesses that actually have bonding as we speak of now. However, their limit is not as high as their single limit is not as high as they would like. So if they're looking to grow, we do not require collateral. We do not require them to put money down or anything like that. If they're looking to grow, we can help them as well. The SBA program can actually help them. Again, I stress the $6.5 million. That is a large project for some of these contractors. And that is an opportunity that minority, veteran, women-owned businesses, and all other businesses, some of them were not even privy to actually having that conversation.
But here's a tricky question right here. Is even though that they might qualify for the 6.5,
right?
How do you ensure they have the capacity and the capability to do it? Because that's important to those who have these projects, whether it's the airport, city, state. How do you make sure that you're just not giving a person this money, right, and they don't have the capacity
and
capability?
What we do, it's a stringent underwriting process. I mean, that's all the same. So what's done, they go through the underwriting process, we evaluate them, and we see that under the standards, the standard requirements, we would not actually bond them. So once we send them over to the SBA does the same process, and they look at it and they say, well, their largest job has probably been $500,000 thus far. So what they would actually do is probably look to bond them 2 times that, just to kind of start them off slow. And we also, and that I didn't mention, we also have smaller programs where it's a 250 quick program. That's any job that's $250,000 or under. There's pretty much no financials needed. It's pretty much same day we can get you bonded for $250,000, and that's soon to. And you're hearing this. You're hearing this first. That's soon to move up to $400,000. So that's a pretty good size project for some of these smaller firms as well. So for the newer companies that probably don't have anything in their portfolio showing that they had completed jobs of $100,000 or more, that type of program would actually help them. But again, the 6.5, no, it's not a charity. We're not going to just hand out 6.5 and bonding. We will look and see what they've done thus far, and if they have completed projects of $3 million or more, we'll probably bond them for 6.5. What we try to stay in, the range that I actually try to stay in with my firm, is about 2.4, 2.5 million. So again, I stress the fact, have the minority contractors, have the women-owned businesses and veteran-owned businesses. Give me a call. Things are changing now. We're looking to bond these guys to allow them to have them go in as prime contractors and receive a good portion and piece of the pie.
That's important.
This program is really huge because in the last legislative session, House Bill 1001 and 1019 changes the requirements for construction companies that are looking to work on public works projects with the state. And one of those requirements for bonding has changed as well. So first and second tier will need to be bonded and insured in order to work on any capital project with the state of Indiana. So, even if the project, right now they do not have to, but with those projects coming up in in the next year, this could be really substantial to a lot of our minority women and veteran business enterprises who are looking to work on those types of projects that, have come in as a sub under a prime, but now they're able to bid as a prime and get that work as a prime contractor for the state. So this is a huge program, and so I think we should probably talk later.
Yes, ma'am.
And I would agree.
Yes. I'll tell you, this worked out perfectly.
It did.
We actually kind of talked to them today, and they agreed to come on the show. But for me, it's about helping these businesses grow, develop, understanding where they're at. All right, capacity-wise, skill-wise. We don't want anybody to fail. We want them to be successful. But I know all of us know the challenges that these businesses have.
Right.
I always tell businesses that every outreach we have, it's important that you attend the pre-bid, as you said, so you'll know exactly what the expectation is. Because afterwards, people come and say, I didn't get to make the pre-bid. And now they're having you scramble to give them some additional information, and that's not how it works.
Right.
And we know that. But Terry, let's talk a little bit about what you know as far as the challenges at the stadium with some of the suppliers that have come to the state. And we have worked together for years, and so we both know there's a lot of obstacles that are self-created.
Absolutely, there are many. The first thing that comes to mind is capacity. Capacity is an issue just because of the nature of the way that the state does business. And we are really focused on saving taxpayer dollars. A lot of items that we procure through the Department of Administration are very large bulk purchases. And so we have worked with our procurement department to try and break some of those contracts down so that they are biddable by smaller firms, and we're continuing to work through that. But some of our large purchases, unfortunately, it's just the way that the state procures. So capacity really is an issue for some of our smaller businesses. So one of the things that we try to do is encourage joint venturing.
Yes.
Where companies are connecting with each other and they immediately increase their capacity. And so we try to educate our businesses on the legalities of that, and encourage them to make sure that they have an attorney that they're working with to make sure that they're looking at the dynamics of their contract in that agreement. But one thing that we want to encourage is encourage businesses to look at is not always looking at another business that does the same thing that they do as a competitor, and look at them as a partner and seeing how they can come together and bid these larger projects. The other one is access to capital. We all know that that is always a business issue for businesses across the country, especially small businesses. And so working with a lot of entities across the state of Indiana to see how we can help, with those issues. And so, entities like Business Ownership Initiative, who now have the microlending program where they can, I think they can lend up to $100,000 or $200,000.
Well,
they have the TIF.
Yeah, I think they've been holding it to about 50.
Is it 50?
Yeah, 50.
Yeah.
It's been about 50,000.
Yeah. So those are programs that we try to connect our business owners to, because it may be an issue of I just need to meet payroll for a month,
right.
And not encouraging them to do things that may put their business in jeopardy. Other types of non-traditional funding and things like that. I won't mention specifically what, but connecting them with opportunities that they can really get the dollars that they need to operate their companies. So.
I don't know how engaged you are with BOI at the airport. Do you utilize their services, or do you have any of your vendors working with them?
With BOI, I'm not familiar. No.
Okay, we'll connect you with them.
Okay. Okay.
Because again, I'll just use an example. We had a company that was in trouble. We don't mention names, but BOI was able to go in, and they were pretty established. They just needed some upfront capital to help them to get through kind of a crisis, and so they were able to get the $50,000, put the business back in order, and move forward. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was a fantastic, because if that wasn't there, they couldn't go through the typical lending institutions. Right. It's very difficult for small businesses. We know that, and banks will tell you that is difficult. They know that, even though I know SBA does a good job in trying to support that, but a lot of challenges exist with your typical or your traditional lending institution. So what do you do to kind of groom or to mentor maybe some of the vendors at the airport that come through there?
Well, again, through our outreaches that we have, and then several people probably know Holly Harrington, who is our Director of Supplier Diversity. Holly has put together several programs of bringing in different firms, sitting down and talking with them specifically about issues, and making sure that the areas that they have concern in, that she connects them. So like what Terry was mentioning here, that would be something that she would do to connect that. So we take pride in the fact that we want to help firms, and we can't do it totally broad-based, but we do try and bring in firms and listen to them and understand their needs. So that's one of the biggest pieces that we do. But then again, we have folks like Devin, who would come in, and actually as we talk about this, I would ask Devin to come in and sit down at our contractor outreach and talk about this opportunity. So as we find things that are of concern to our suppliers, we just find ways to connect them with who we need to connect them with.
I've got a couple minutes left, and I want to do this real quick, and feel free to join in. Just like the city, we have tons of projects right now. We have everything from Market Square. If you look out the window here, upstairs, you'll see the Cummings project, mm-hmm. the Market Square. You'll see the Indigo Transit Center right there. We have Mass going right now, Mass Avenue, and those are all of our projects that we have the compliance on. And so I know that what's important for me is to make sure that our vendors understand what the expectations are and that they know about these projects up front. And then again, getting the contractors to break them down into smaller packages. I know, Terry, you were talking about how you break those down, or try to, but sometimes we can't.
Right.
It's and I know people say, oh, you can't. Sometimes you can't. It is a full package, right. And it needs to go out this way because I think, as you were saying, that we have to get the best price too, right. for the taxpayers. Let's talk a little bit about what do we think our vendors need to do on their end. We know what we do on our end. Let's give them some suggestions with this last couple minutes to go. Or what do you like to see? Period.
Well, again, I'll go back to the communication piece. Come in and learn about things that are going to happen at the airport. Understand our challenges. Find out about who's going to be managing those projects. So that you start to gather that information. So as you build your team, or again, if you're going to do it individually, you really know what you need to present in your proposal. And then I would say, too, when you submit proposals, follow up. whether it was a good or a bad, follow up and understand that. You can go to our website at any time and find out about our opportunities. Under our business and employment section, you can learn about our business diversity program, and you can learn about any of the opportunities that are coming up.
Terry.
Similar to Shanetta, we would encourage folks to visit our website. All of our opportunities are listed at www.in.gov/IDOA. We also send out a weekly e-blast of every opportunity that is available at the state of Indiana and along with our partners. So if you're not getting that, I encourage you to contact our agency. Our number is 317-232-3061, and we can get you connected to that. And in addition to that, every buyer that purchases anything that the state procures is listed on that website as well. So it would be a great opportunity for you to contact them directly, introduce your business to them, and let them know what products and services that you have that you can supply to the state of Indiana.
Shanetta, contact information, please.
Yes, so our website is www.indianapolisairport.com, and under the business and employment section. And then my name is Shanetta Griffin. As we mentioned, I can be reached at 317-487-5244.
You know they're going to call you now.
Well, and somebody will answer that phone. But that's what we encourage.
Yeah.
My website is www.moorebonds, and that's my last name, MOORE, B as in boy, ONDS.com. My phone number is 317-966-0544.
Thank you so much. Again, this is Your Business Connection. Again, we just thank you for giving us some great information.